This is Unit 4, Lesson 5, and in this one we're going to simplify polynomials and monomials. A lot of this section is going to be review of stuff from Algebra 1, but it's really important to understand this so that we can move forward. So I'm going to do a little review section here. If you have a polynomial, something like this, anytime you have the distributive property within a polynomial, you're going to do that first. So I'm going to go kind of quickly here. You should know how to do all of this already. I'm just going to review some specific things that I see common mistakes made with. So I'm going to distribute the 5. That would give me 10x plus 30. And then here, that minus 3 means I have to distribute the negative 3. If I forget to distribute the negative, it's going to throw everything off and I'm not going to get any of it right. So I have to be real careful. So negative 3 times 4x is negative or minus 12x. And negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. And then at this point, I can add my like terms. So the 10x minus 12x is negative 2x. And the 30 plus 15 is 45. You could write that as 45 minus 2x. It really doesn't make a bit of difference. I tend to write them in numerical order according to the degree. So I do the highest degree first and write them in descending order. For the next one, at first glance, you might think that this one is just real simple and there's not a whole lot to it. But if you pay attention to where the parentheses are, this minus sign in between the parentheses, that changes the sign of everything inside here. A lot of times I have students forget to distribute that minus sign and they end up with every term being wrong because they forgot to do that, or they might get the first term right, but then since they forgot to distribute the negative, all the other terms are wrong. So you have to be real careful here. If there were a plus in the middle, the parentheses really wouldn't mean anything. You would just add the like terms and you'd be done. But because that's a minus, you have to distribute that minus sign. So here we've got 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 8. And now I'm going to distribute the minus sign. So I've got negative or minus 2x cubed plus 6x squared and minus 8. And then I could add my like terms. So 3x cubed minus 2x cubed is x cubed. 4x squared plus 6x squared is 10x squared. And negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16 or minus 16. In the next one, for this one, we've got several different distributive properties that we have to take care of, so you would do that first. In the first term, I would have 2a plus 2b. I have to distribute a negative 4, so that's minus 4b minus 4c. A common mistake with these is I often have students forget to distribute that negative. So you have to be really careful. You have to be looking for that. Make sure you pay attention to the signs. And then 8 times 2a is 16a. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40c. And then at this point, I would add like terms. So 2a plus 16a is 18a. 2b minus 4b is negative 2b. And then negative 4c minus 40c is negative 44c. And that's all we can do with that one. In this one, we have two binomials that we have to square. A lot of students mess this up because they forget their rules for algebra, so I want to make sure you understand. We have to deal with the exponent first because order of operations tells us that we have to do all exponents before we're allowed to do any of the 4 math operations. So within that problem, we have 2 exponents that need to be taken care of. Now, you need to understand that when you square x plus 2, that means we write x plus 2 down twice. And then how do we multiply 2 binomials together? Hopefully you remember we've done this already this year. We FOIL that, okay? A common mistake here is students look at that and they say, well, the answer to that is x squared plus 4. But when they do that, they're leaving out that middle term, and that ends up making the whole thing wrong. So you have to be real careful. You can't forget those small rules in Algebra 1 because they end up being big mistakes when you go forward. So when I FOIL that, the 7 I'm going to keep here, when I FOIL it, x times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, 2 times x is 2x. So we've got 2x plus 2x is 4x, and 2 times 2 is 4. It is really good if you could do that mentally. It saves you a lot of time, and remember, we're working toward working these problems the most efficient way we can. So if you can do that in your head without showing a lot of work, that will save you time. I encourage you to do that. If you're getting it wrong, then show the work if you need to. With this, we've got 6. I'm going to write down the 2x minus 3 twice. And if you can do it without writing it down twice, I would encourage you to do that too. There's no problem with that. We should be getting to where we can do this mentally a lot easier now. So we got 6. When I FOIL that, I've got 4x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x, and this is negative 6x, so that's going to be a negative 12x, and then a plus 9. The next thing I would do is distribute the numbers on the outside. So I've got 7x squared plus 28x plus 28 plus 24x squared minus 72x plus 54. And then I'm going to add like terms. 7x squared plus 24x squared is 31x squared. 28x minus 72x is minus 44x. And 28 plus 54 is 82. There's a review of simplifying polynomials.